Good morning. It is New Year's Eve. Not sure if we're going to be trading today. If there's no setups or the volume's kind of slow, there's not really any news coming out. I just wanted to show up on time still and be here, but what's going on, Sarif? Hey, I don't know if we're going to trade today, but I wanted to jump on here and just talk about it, an idea I had moving forward, maybe going into the new year, on one little change that I want to implement. I know I've had some people commenting about switching to micros instead of minis, and I traded micros for months, and the reason why I switched to minis was I thought the micro chart pulled up 10 micros obviously equals 1 mini. Here's the mini chart. Obviously it looks very similar on the 1 minute time frame. I noticed it's actually slightly different though. If you look at some of these candles, they actually look a little bit different, which is weird. I don't know. Let me see if I can see a difference here. I don't know. They look similar now, but last night when I was looking, I was like, they didn't match exactly. It was kind of bizarre. But anyway, the reason why I might want to switch back to micros and why I switched to minis in the first place was I thought when I was trading with Apex, you can have 20 accounts. And I was like, all right, so usually I trade 10 to 20 micros per trade. You know, sometimes the sweet spot's like 15 micros, or if I'm really on fire, I'll trade 20 micros, which is like 2 minis. But then I started thinking, in the future, when I have 20 accounts, do I want to be trading 400 micro contracts? It just seems like a crazy large number. And then I'm like scaling out of the trades, taking partial profits, I'm putting trades in, and I have to remember, like, you know, you have to, when you're copy trading, that's it. You got to be careful with what you're doing, right? So I was like, minis would be easier. 2 contracts across 20 accounts would be 40 contracts. That seems just like a lot more of a better number than 400. So I was like, all right, let's switch to minis, and then it'll just be 1 to 2 minis per trade. But what that eliminated me to be able to do was, when I'm in a trade, to take like partials. The only way I would be able to take partials with minis is if I was trading 2 contracts. Let's say we jump in along here, I sell one here, and then I set my other one to break even, and then I trail that last contract. But if I'm only trading 1 mini contract, I can't take a partial profit. So what was happening was I would get in the green, and then I would just close it out as soon as it's $150 or $200, or I would just be too quick to take profit. Yeah, I wasn't holding the trades long enough. Like, my average hold time's been 1 minute, whereas I used to take trades that were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes long. And sometimes, yeah, there is a trade that's only 1 minute. The market moves a ton and you can just take profit. But sometimes the trade takes 6, 7, 8 minutes, and you need to be able to hold through that. And so trading minis, 1 to 2 minis, is not letting me scale out. And what I mean by that, and you probably already know, is if I have 10 contracts, 10 micro contracts, I can take 4 off here and 4 off here, which leaves me with 2, and then take 1 more and then leave 1 runner. And what you're doing when you do that, and you may already know this, is you're taking risk off the table, and you're also taking profit. And I used to do that. If you go back and watch some of my older videos, you'll see when I'm in a trade, you know, I'll have a bunch of different random orders. Oh, I gotta fix this. Fills and orders show all. Like I'll have 2 here and 2 here and 2 here, and then it'll just slowly start taking profits, and then I'll move my stop loss or adjust my stop loss. So I used to love doing that, and psychologically, it just makes you feel good because you're like stacking small wins, you're taking risk off, you don't get as emotional, and it just helps you scale out of the trade better. And that's what I used to do, and I think that's what I'm going to go back to doing. So we may not take any trades today. It's New Year's Eve. There's no news really going on. I mean, we're going to still, I'm still here though, and we'll see what happens with the market today. But that is one reason why I wanted to jump on here and explain to any of my followers, if any of you guys are day traders. I know I only got 5 people watching right now, and I know Sharif trades. I don't know about the other 4 people, but I want to get back to doing that. Everything else stays the same. We still get to the computer at 8 a.m. We still mark the 15-minute opening range. We still wait for that hourly candle to close because a lot of our good entries happen between 9 and 10 a.m. Texas time. We're still going to wait for price to create a bull or a bear flag and get that pullback to the 21 EMA. We're still going to have our same entry method for longs and shorts. Everything else stays the same. I just think I'm going to switch from minis back to micros, because if we look at my journal, my winning trades have been so small, like $160, $30, $125, $200, $290, $30, $155, $30, 50, like they're not $200, right? Versus if we go back to, I always go back to this day because I'll never time I ever passed an evaluation, and it was my son's first birthday. He was turning 1 the week of his birthday, September 9th. In trading days on a break really well, and I passed on his birthday with 1 winning trade for $1,300, and I got it pulled up right here on the screen. And my stop loss was like 15 points, 20 points, 20 points, and we were trading 20 micros, which is the same as 2 minis. 2 winning trades, one for $360, one for $597. And then I had a losing trade for $800, but I still took a second trade and came back with an $1,800 win. And then a $1,300 win on September 6th. So $3,240 in 3 days. And I remember that was trading 20 micro contracts. So I don't want to jump into trading 20 micros right now because the account's below 50,000, and I just want to like follow my discipline and my consistency going into the new year first, and then we can to 15 micros and then 20 micros and get back to doing that, because I know that's what's going to allow me to fix the profit side of the equation. I think we got the losing side of the equation down pretty good. Keeping our losses small, not over trading, not revenge trading, trying not to veer from the discipline too much. Sometimes I've been breaking a couple rules, and that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but I'm still trying to just get better. But if your entry's good and you have a high win rate, now we just need to hold the trades longer, and trading micros and scaling out is what's going to allow me to hold winning trades longer. So I know Sharif used to trade like 20 plus trades a day, and for some people that works. They just take all these entries and that's too much for me. It's too stressful. It's too much work. I don't want trading to be stressful and that crazy. I want to look for a really good setup, get in, get out, get paid. And if we have a losing day, keep it small and just be done for the day, and think about like why that trade didn't work out, instead of journaling 20 plus trades and trying to figure out why 12 of them went well and 8 of them didn't. And that's just too much for me. But if it works for you, do it. I don't want you to switch to just doing what I'm doing, but I like taking less trades. Unlike every other job I had where the more you did, the more money you got paid, with trading, the more trades you take doesn't necessarily mean the more money you're going to make. It's the complete opposite. You want quality trades. It's quality over quantity. I used to go door to door selling solar. The more people I talked to, the more electric bills I got, the more appointments I ran, the more deals I closed, the more installs I did. Everything was a numbers game. And the more I did, the more money I made. With trading, the more trades you make does not mean the more money you'll make. It's quite the opposite. So, but I just wanted to jump on here, and even if the market's not really like hot today and we don't take any trades, I wanted to talk about that idea. I know I had a couple people in the comments go, hey man, if you don't have the balls to hold on to the trade and you're just feeling too like nervous, switch to micros, size down. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I just switched to minis. I want to try this for a little bit longer, but I do think I need to switch back to micros. And we're not going to necessarily size down, because 10 micros equals 1 mini. And our stop losses are still following the same method. So we're still risking the same amount per trade. We're not necessarily sizing down. What it's allowing us to do is just to take little profits along the way and take risk off of the trade as the trade is going in our direction. Because there's been times where we'll get a dip down on a short and I could have taken a little bit off, which would have made me feel better, allow it to pull back and to draw down a little bit and still not feel as bad, just for it to then continue in our direction. But when we don't take partial profits and it moves in our direction and we were up $200 and now we're down $200, just psychologically and emotionally, it gets harder. It gets tougher. My heart starts racing. I don't feel good. Our feelings can change right away, but the plan needs to stay the same. Market is open. There's the opening bell. So I think this is going to allow us to just maximize our profits, which at the end of the day is obviously the goal for all traders. And it's going to help us just psychologically not get as emotional in the trade. It's always a good idea to be able to scale some off of the take some profits off the trade, but then still be in the trade and let it run, just in case if it goes a lot further. Worst case scenario, it doesn't, and we get stopped out at break even. I just feel like all we can do is try it and see what happens. Got the 2-minute chart pulled up here. We got a pivot point right there that it's testing at the 470s. Right now, the price is in between the 21 EMA and VWAP. VWAP at 443, Nasdaq at 463. Market just opened. We're trading below pre-market high and yesterday's high, but above pre-market low. If we zoom out, we're kind of right above yesterday's 15-minute opening range. Yesterday, we got a bear flag below the 15-minute range. It was a little bit tricky because it broke out and then pulled back up just for it to continue in that direction. And then the market started closing above the halfway point. And then once we got to the top of the range and broke out, it just continued on up. Especially once that 21 EMA crossed over VWAP, we just stayed going up. So kind of had a series of bull flags after 10 a.m., but that doesn't really follow our strategy because we were already finished for the day. But we got above that pivot point. We came back down, retested it, pushed back up, kind of got stuck a little bit there, and then just continued up. So that's what happened yesterday. And right now the price is kind of trading right below that pivot point from yesterday, which is almost the same as the pivot point for today. So, but I don't know. It's New Year's Eve. Market closes early today. We might just come back on Thursday with that new idea of trading micros and scaling out of our winning trades. Plus, it just feels good. You feel like you're getting a bunch of little micro wins. I don't think there is a renewal with Take Profit Trader, is there? I don't think there is a renewal fee, Sharif. I could be wrong. I hope not. If not, we gotta. I've been trading on this account for a couple weeks now. We definitely hit our five trading day goal. So this account was no, there is a renew check about it. Yeah, I don't know about that, if there is or not. Huh. Yeah, I gotta look into that. I don't want to pull up the Take Profit account right now because it's going to show my password on the main screen. But I got this account December 16th. But yeah, I don't know how that works. If you pass and then you get a pro account and then you get a payout within the first month, I think you get that $100 back. But yeah, I have to look into that. But we've been trading on this account since December 16th. I've logged 9 trading days on it. The requirement's only 5. But had we let these winners actually ride how they're supposed to, we would have passed. We would have already passed. Because look, I got more winning days than losing days. I only have 6 winning days and 3 losing days. But winners are smaller than the losers. Well, the goal is to just pass it before that happens, I guess. You know, if we follow our rules and plans, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get funded if we're just trading well. But yeah, when you're trading micros, I like it because it's like it takes you out here and then takes you out here and takes you out here. Like you're just getting these mini wins instead of having to hold throughout the entire trade because you don't know how long the trade's going to play out for in your direction. So it just helps you to have better profit targets while you're in the trade. But yeah, pulling up the 15-minute chart here. So far, only about 50 points of price action here in the first 15 minutes. We got news at 9:30 Texas time. Dallas Fed. But yeah, I don't know. Today it's gonna happen. I'm up $4 just because I took one micro contract trade last night, 7 p.m. just to test when the market was moving super slow, just to test something out. But yep, that's it. That's the change. If you're just tuning in now, it's New Year's Eve. We're live, Nasdaq futures, market's open. Just because the market's open, though, doesn't mean you have to trade. We might not take a trade until Thursday. But what I've been talking about so far is the idea of switching from minis back to micros, because we have a good strategy and our win rate is high. But I've been struggling to let my winners ride longer and hold through the trade because I was trading minis. So I think we're going to go back to micros so that I can scale out of my winning trades. All good traders have like various profit targets when they're in a trade, like take profit 1, take profit 2, different levels. And when you're only trading 1 or 2 minis, well, if you're trading 1, you can't do that. And if you're trading 2, you can only have 2 take profits. So I like the idea of having like at least 3. So going back to micros is going to help us to be able to do that. Nasdaq pushing down now, down to the 380s. Once we got that break below this 15-minute candle at the 456s, kind of just started going down. That would have been a pretty good entry to get short right here. You know, but it doesn't really follow our discipline of waiting for the first 15 minutes. But as you can see, the market opened, pushed up, pushed down, pushed up, pushed down. And then once this candle started kind of breaking below that previous wick, the 15-minute getting below this previous 15-minute candle, then the price just dropped off down there to the 379s. So just sitting back, being patient, waiting, seeing what's going on. I don't know how much momentum there's going to be in the market. Eggs. Every day I eat eggs, 4 eggs. Same thing for breakfast. 7 days a week. Like a dog. I eat the same thing every day. All right, well, there was the kind of the chop and then the drop right there at open. If you want to take a short that far from the 21 EMA, probably not. Right? Remember, we want our entries to be close to that 21 EMA, but if we lose this bottom here, there's a good chance it'll just keep going. There we go. Just dropped 78 to 68, 10 points, quick 10 points right there. I had an entry, an order for 10 micros right there a second ago, but I took it away. That would have been a quick $200 right there. Also could have been a quick $200 loss. I don't know if you saw that on my screen though, but I had an order entry right there for a short. I know if we popped below these couple wicks right here, might get that quick pop down just to come right back up. But that's just too risky. Minute and a half left in the first 15 minutes. We got the top of the range up here at the 488.50s. Market closes early today, right? I don't know why it's giving me all these hours. Sometimes it skips. 368. Oh no, I think it's done putting in lows right now. Could be wrong. Could be wrong, but another 50 seconds. See where this last minute candle closes. Oh, the market's open all day. Wow, look at that. Thank you, Shredder. You would think I would know that. I should know that. Huh. Interesting. Doesn't mean we have to trade all day, though. We usually only trade for 2 hours. News coming out, but it's nothing crazy. Nothing that's going to really move the market. So we're just strictly trading price action right now. Yeah, I know tomorrow it's closed. I know that. Do you live alone? No, I live with my dog and my cat. Yeah, we're going to look for one good setup and get in, get out. Be done by 10 a.m. Central Time. All right, so right now we are inside the 15-minute opening range. There's the 2-minute chart below VWAP, below the 21 EMA. We have a pivot point also inside the 15-minute range, which is kind of different, I think. 470 pivot point. And then another pivot point to the upside at 688. I don't know. I'm not focused on what they're doing. I'm focused on what the Nasdaq's doing. And then a pivot point to the downside at 198. So there's our range. Yeah, I've seen that show. Mr. Shredder, are you trading right now? Are you trading? What you doing? It's windy out there today. Nasdaq pulling back up to VWAP, testing VWAP again up there at the 440s. And then we got a pivot point at 470s. Right now we're on step 3. Nice. Well, did you win? You trading on a prop firm account? Break of the 5 minute. Oh, so what's that? This? Would you get short right here on the 5 minute? That would have been at the 433s. Below VWAP. Not a bad trade. 433s at the break of the 5 minute after 835. Kind of get short at the break of this candle. That was a nice move if you got in there. I did win, quick win, short at 21,423. 423. Nice. Probably could have shorted at the break of this candle right here at 445. But hey, win's a win. Good work. One win, get in, get out, close it down, be done for the day. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Don't be greedy. Good work. We can all make money. I love that. And everybody's kind of got different ways of doing it. I'm still at no trades. If you're wondering, here's the, well, technically it's showing a couple trades from last night, like 7 p.m. where I was just testing micro contracts out, but we're at no trades for New York session for today right now. Just have target set to 10 points, went a lot further, have to try working on holding on too. And that's where that's where trading micros and scaling out can help. So you can scale some contracts out at 10 points and then take the rest out at 15 or 20 points. Worst case scenario, you take partial profits at 10 points and the market reverses to break even or whatever. But there's a good chance if you have a good entry, the market will give you more than 10 points. But it's not a bad idea to take some of your profits right there at 10 points, you know? So a lot of us, when we're new to trading, probably struggle with holding on to our winners a little bit longer. It's a common theme in the industry for sure. And I didn't always have the problem, but then once I kind of fixed the losing side, then it became more of a problem on the winning side. Now it's like fixing that. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful right when the market opens. It can get a little choppy, but I think that was a good setup for a short. You know, once we broke the bottom of that 5 minute candle, below VWAP, it's definitely highly probable that you were going to get a quick pop down right here. Like if you got in at the 433s, you know, 10 points was, you had a good chance of getting 10 points there at least. So if you were trading micros, you could have taken partial profits at 10 points and then trailed the rest of your position or whatever. That's what I'm going to try to do when we get into a trade, you know. We're still just kind of inside the 15-minute range below VWAP. Still kind of looking bearish for now, but you never know. You just put in like a lower high there, maybe. But there's no telling. Just got to kind of sit back and let the market snitch on itself. Let it tell on itself. So if we break through this 98 level, I get a quick pop down. Not doing it. Doesn't follow our rules. We didn't get below the 15-minute range yet. But there's a good chance if we break below this candle, we'll get another pop down. But I don't know. It's like teasing us. She'll probably go here. Yeah, man, we got some people watching. There's that move that I kind of just said would maybe happen a little bit. Not a whole lot of points there. 97 down to 85. There's 10 points. Market's putting in lower lows, lower highs. See if we can break out of the 15-minute range here or not. We got the 2-minute chart pulled up here. Those blue lines, 21 EMA, and we got VWAP. Sometimes these key levels can kind of overcloud the chart a little bit, but it shows pre-market high and low and yesterday's high and low. But the important ones are these pivot points too. So, but New Year's Eve, I don't know how much momentum we're going to get today. You know, this strategy kind of works well with momentum. Trade copier, just the trade copier that's in Tradeovate, but I don't have multiple accounts at the moment. So I'm trading on a MacBook and I use Tradeovate with various prop firms. Right now we're trading with Take Profit Trader, and they have a built-in trade copier for free once you have multiple accounts. Makes it pretty simple and easy. But there's no sense in having multiple accounts yet until we get profitable and good with one. Then we can just scale it. Take Profit Trader lets you have 5 accounts, I think. If you had $550,000 accounts, you know, you'd have $750,000 in equity. You can make some good money. So we got that quick pop down, and then we pulled right back to the 21 EMA. That's why I didn't really like the idea of getting short there. We're still inside the 15-minute range right now. Kind of want to see the price break out above or below and then create a bull or a bear flag and a pullback to the 21 EMA. Those are kind of all of our rules that we're looking for an A+ entry. And then instead of trading minis today, we're going to try micros. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's a choppy day, though. Market's only been open for 26 minutes, but it can start off however it wants to start off. You never know. But it does seem kind of slow, but it's New Year's. It's New Year's Eve. It's a holiday. Most people take off during the holidays. That good traders that have been trading all year round that made millions of dollars, they're taking this week off. They took last week off. They take this week off. They kind of go back and look at how they did over the year, where they can get better, what they did well, what they did wrong. They set up a good plan and for tackling the new year, and then they just wait for the new year to come back into it, whether it's, you know, the end of this week or next week. So I'm trying to get as much experience as possible. That doesn't mean placing a trade though and losing money, but just showing up when the market's open, getting to my desk, going to sleep at a good time, waking up, getting here, opening the stream for you guys, answering any questions you have, kind of talking about different stuff. I just started this channel, so I don't have the luxury of taking off. Tomorrow the market's closed, we'll take off tomorrow. And I don't work this job all day long. It's just a couple hours. So it's not that hard for me to show up and sit at my desk for an hour or two and just be here and experience the market. So, you know, you have to blow up accounts. You have to win. You have to lose. You have to make mistakes. You have to do, like, this is all building my experience. Like, until you've blown up an account, you just don't have that experience. And I've done it multiple times now, funded accounts. So every day's a good day if you make it a good day. Whether you have a red day trading or a green day, you still have the rest of your personal day too to make it a good day. It's never the market's fault if you lose. People blame it on the market. I see you ever. Looks like a good buy. Oh, I thought you said good day. Yeah, no. We're still below VWAP, below the 21 EMA. We did just kind of put in a higher low there, but you know, I don't like making any decisions while we're right below this pivot point and we're inside the 15-minute range. We trade momentum, so we usually like to see the price break out above the 15-minute, do a pullback, and then continue up. We got this pivot point up here, or vice versa, get below the 15-minute range, do a little pullback, and then a continuation down to this pivot point down there. Until the market does one of those things, I'm not looking to get long or short. I know it may seem annoying to you. You're like, oh man, just get long or just place a trade. But I don't trade randomly. That's not how good traders trade. They look for specific things and they're real picky. And then that's how you have a good win rate. And then the only other thing we got to do now is just to let our trades play out better. So I don't know if y'all were watching earlier, I showed my journal, but on this account, we have more wins than losses, more winning days than losing days. It's just our winners are small. So we switched from minis to micros so that I can scale in and out of trades better. I think that's going to help. We may have to wait until Thursday or Friday, though, until the market's really hot and popping again. We do have some news coming out later this week. Thursday and Friday. Thursday morning, we got S&P PMI final. We'll see what that does at 8:45 Friday. This is just the Trading View economic calendar. I always usually have this pulled up. And then Friday, we got some big news at 9 a.m. Central Time. Manufacturing PMI. So, you know, I think the good setups are coming. The good trades are coming. It's just it's the holidays. So, you know, if you caught that short, you got paid like Shredder earlier. But right now, we're just kind of chopping along the 21 EMA. There's nothing really to do at the moment except be patient. And maybe today was just a day to hop on the computer here, show up and talk to you guys a little bit, and come back Thursday. But I'm still going to sit here. We just had that hourly candle close. So it's 9:01 Central Time now. A lot of our good setups, I actually sat and wrote day by day, only 20 days. Usually when you back test data, when you're trading on shorter time frames like we do, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute, you only need to go back like 2 or 3 months. I only went back 20 days, but out of those 20 days, the strategy's only not worked 3 days. And 95% of our entries occurred between 9 and 10 a.m. So it's 9:02 now, but the price is still inside the 15-minute range. We had the 21 EMA cross below VWAP. Now it looks like it might want to push above VWAP. It's choppy right here. We got this pivot point inside the 15-minute range right here that could act as resistance. we need to close above that and get above the 15-minute range, and then a nice pullback to the 21 EMA, and then continuation before we would consider getting long. All those different things have to happen. It's like a checklist. Like, all right, did this happen? Yeah. Did that happen? Okay. Did this happen? Okay. Did that happen? Yes. All right, let's enter. Because now we can enter with a high probability of thinking, hey, there's a good probability that if all this stuff happens, this is going to happen. And that's how you trade. We don't predict the future, but we go, if this happens, if that happens, then there's a high probability. It's not guaranteed, but there's a high probability. And that's what trading's all about. It's a game of probability. It's not about predicting what the market's going to do when the market opens. It's not about, some people like to try to time the top of the market and time the bottom. And I just feel like that's really difficult to do. And some people can do it. There's guys on YouTube that talk about strategies that do that. Looking at liquidity sweeps and fair value gaps and all that kind of stuff. I am aware of all those different things. But what I've figured out that works pretty well for entries and having a high win rate is just trading the trend and trading momentum. And if there's no momentum and there's no trend, there's nothing to do yet. So when the market starts putting in higher highs and higher lows, and it's really pushing, and it's that first couple hours when the market's open, when the market's hot, that's when you want to be getting in and getting out and just catching that wave. The market moves in waves. If the market's not moving in waves and it's just chopping or it's slow, then this strategy doesn't really work. And it's New Year's Eve. So, if we look back to show you like what I'm talking about, like this was the 15-minute range on Friday. Looking at the 2-minute, we pushed out of the range a little bit, pulled back to the 21 EMA, and we got this beautiful bear flag, pushing down, pull back to the 21 EMA almost, and then break out. And like that's where you want to get short. And if you wanted to be a little bit more patient and wait even longer, there was another bear flag that formed even further down. Like this is momentum. This, you can clearly see that the market is pushing down. And we got one pivot point, and then we got another pivot point. You don't want to be trying to figure out where the bottom of the market is to get long. Like, okay, I think it's here, get long. Oh, I think it's here, get long. The market's pushing down. You should be trading with that momentum. Stop trying to fight it. So you look for pullbacks, and then you get in short. And they all look a little bit different. Some of them are a little bit sexier than others, but that's what you want to be looking for. And then the 21 EMA kind of flattened out a little bit, and then it was over. But this was the momentum right here. When that blue line is slanted down like that, like you should be looking for shorts, not getting long. So like this day, there was like no good setup actually. It didn't work that day. Just pushed down and then just pulled straight back up and got inside the 15-minute range, kind of chopped. 21 EMA crossed over VWAP, and then we started pushing back up. But this was also Christmas Eve, right? So, it's the holidays. But if we go back, and I don't have time to sit there and show you every single day, there's days where there's a clear trend of what the market's doing, and you want to trade with it. So right now we just put in lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, kind of. So it's really choppy right now. We're in that range. There's nothing to do right now. I feel like if I took a trade and this kind of stuff, I would just be gambling. And this isn't really like a bear flag either. I don't know, I could be wrong, but like, yeah, we broke out. It could just pull back up. Now we're putting in a lower low. Like the market's all over the place right now. We're just inside that range. You know what I mean? The 21 EMA is like flat. It's sideways. We could start pulling down like crazy right now and put a lower low for the day, which would be below right here. Looks like it wants to get it. There it goes. But there was no way to like really know that it was going to do that here. So now we're outside of the range finally. So now I kind of want to get a little bit more of a push here and then a pull back to the 21 EMA for our bear flag. Right now we're kind of building the pole possibly. So here's the pole. If we can kind of get like one of these, that's what we would be interested in seeing. We just got to wait and see though. You know, and then you got people that will go like, oh, long right here, this is the bottom, and then make some money going back to the, but it's not how I trade. It's not the strategy. The market could continue to push down a little bit more right now. You never know. Just like it's doing, kind of, right? So if you thought that was the bottom and you got long here and you had your stop down here somewhere, like, it's just not what you want to do. And then if you can get the bear flag to show up on the 5 minute too, like the more time frames you can have, the better. Now the 21 EMA is touching VWAP on the 5 minute. But we've already crossed below VWAP there. So it's looking bearish now. So now we're looking bearish. Market's not looking bullish. It's putting in lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So we should only be looking for shorts. But sometimes the market will push below the range just to then end up getting all the way up here and then closing above the range. The idea is that if it starts closing above like VWAP right now, if we started closing above the 430s, the bulls can then take control and bring the price up. So that can happen too. You just got to wait and see. You got to wait and see. I don't want to keep going back and forth between the 1 minute and the 2 minute because there we go. Look, still pushing down. The 2 minutes where we want to kind of keep our focus on before we think about like entries. We want to keep in mind that 21 EMA on the 2 minute, getting a nice pullback to it. So when did Ever Cabler say it looks like a good buy right here? Hey Ever, you still think that? that was a good idea to buy right here? I think that's when you told me to buy, just for the market to then rip down 100 points down there to the 340s. I think we were at the like 430s when you said to buy. I'm not trying to be mean, but this is why I said what I said. Just because we put in a higher low here doesn't mean you get long right here. You got VWAP to 21 EMA. You're still in the 15-minute range. You got a pivot point right here, So if anything, maybe you guys listening to me will help prevent you from taking trades that you shouldn't have taken, and then you'll make money. If you don't take bad trades, maybe you'll take good trades. You know what I mean? Ever Cabalar. And I mean that with love, brother. I mean that I'm not trying to pick on you or be a jerk. I'm just pointing out that you did say to get long here. And I don't know if you're trading right now and if you actually did that or not, but maybe now you can see why that wasn't where you want to get long. But more importantly, why that was where you don't want to get long. Because obviously looking back, it's clear whenever we look back on charts to know where we should have got in and got out. The trick is to know that in real time, though, to prevent yourself from taking a bad trade. And I use things like VWAP and the 21 EMA and the 15-minute range and pivot points to kind of tell me that. And I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. When I lose a trade, it's not because any of these things are wrong. It's because I didn't follow them. It's not the market's fault. So yeah, it's windy out. Crazy. So now we're kind of building this bear flag, kind of steep. This bear flag on the 1 minute time frame here. The bottom of the 15-minute range at the 368. If we can get below here. Well, getting rejected. There it is, taking a loss. Didn't get that continuation down. That sucks. $358 loss, 10 micros. There it is. Bear flag getting denied. We got in right below the bottom of that previous wick. There it is. We jumped in 10 micros at the 369s. We got a push below the range, pulled back up to the 21 EMA, not completely on the 2 minute, but on the 1 minute we did. I thought we would start then getting that push back down, and we might now. But it's like, do we want to take a second trade? I started moving my stop too. Almost a 20-point stop there. Our entry was at 69. 89 would be 20 points. Now the market's pushing back up, just like that, inside, back into the range to the 21 EMA on the 2-minute. Just like that. Market's still looking bearish. You can stay below this, try to stay below this 400. Nope. Looks like the bulls are stepping in here. Ah, it sucks. $16.75 points. We'll just call it 17 points. Oh, yes. That sucks. Red, baby, red. Happy New Year's Eve. Just gotta love trading, man. It's a love-hate relationship. 357.50. On a short. Oh, yes. That sucks. $841 from drawdown now. All good. ESM was showing higher highs on 15-minute. Yeah, I wasn't looking at ES. ES started pulling back up there when we took that short. That was stupid. Yeah, it's like, we took that short at 916. And yeah, the ES. I don't know. ES looks real choppy. Real choppy. It's like moving sideways, right? Down, up, boom, boom. Like, dude, that's chop. So, you know, there's the ES 2-minute. Closing above the 21 EMA now, Nasdaq on the 2-minute. VWAP still holding us down for now. But yeah. Take a short. Sarif, thought you wanted to win an account. Can't tell if you're just being a smart ass now. Take a short. This is him. This is my test. Sarif's my tester. He's my he's like the little devil on your shoulder. Yeah, it sucks. Live on YouTube, taking a low loss again, 2 days in a row. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Man, I'm just gonna put 358 here. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, ending the year with not a bang. Yeah, 2024. Not gonna lie, was the hardest year of my life. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but dude, I've been rich and I've been poor all in the same year. Not from trading, but from my old job selling solar, where I've had weeks where I made $20,000-$30,000 to not knowing if I'm going to have enough money to afford to eat groceries. And just trying to learn how to trade. The coronavirus didn't do shit to me. I still fucking made a ton of money throughout the whole pandemic. I was still going door to door when they said going door to door was banned. I didn't care. I was still closing deals, going to people's houses, into their house with a mask on and having them sign $100,000 solar contracts. But 2024, the solar industry just kind of dropped. I started making less money. I started trading, which is the hardest thing I've ever tried to do. And I'm not gonna lie, like going through a divorce. My son was born shortly before I got into trading. You know, so I don't have my family with me. I live in the middle of nowhere in an RV now, working at a restaurant, serving tables, like making like no money. So, but I got my health. I got Starlink internet. I got a nice RV, nice truck. I got food in the fridge now. And I keep learning every day. Yeah, it's been tough, man. Not gonna lie. Not gonna get like too into all the details, but I've had a tough year. Yeah. Yeah, people that are really good at it make it look simple, and you can make it simple, and it's supposed to be simple when you're consistently winning, but you just have to get to that point of not quitting, not giving up. And I'm not a quitter, and I'm not giving up. I'll have to die before I quit and give up. So I'm going to still show up on time every day until I figure this out and have my breakthrough, because I know that the reward is going to be the largest reward that I've ever experienced. I'll be able to be near my son again and like be the father that I need to be and afford to like provide for him and have, most importantly, have time with him. You know, what's the point of working 100 hours a week if then you're never going to have time with your kid just to make freaking less than 100 grand a year? Like, dude, I don't know, man. That's a whole long conversation. The market went to crap. Interest rates went up last summer. A bunch of solar companies screwed a bunch of homeowners, and the market got super saturated with door knockers, and it just got really, a bunch of companies filed bankruptcy when their sales went down. Just sales have just dropped off. So market putting in a higher high now, up there through the 460s. You got that pivot point coming up there at 470. We need to see the price close like above the range though. See, I created this new rule where it's one trade. It used to be 2 to 3. If you had 2 losses, be done. Because there's been days where I've taken a loss as my first trade, but then taken a really nice win. So I'm like going back and forth in my head if I should take another trade or not. You know, obviously it's only if you see a really good setup, but if we go back to September 4th, 5th, and 6th, that second day of that hot streak that I was on there with green days, that second day started off with a $798 loss right here, just to follow it up with an $1,800 win. Now, those were also 20 micros instead of 10. But if we just cut our numbers in half, that's kind of like what we're looking at here. So, you know, now the market just dipped down to the 21 EMA. Like, obviously, we need to see it closing above the pivot and outside the range. Yeah, and I think trading micros and just scaling out of the trade shredder will help with that. And that's what I used to do, and it worked well. I tried switching to minis. You know, we gave it a shot for a couple weeks, and I don't think that helped. But you don't know until you try something. So now we're gonna go back to micros. You know, you don't want to change your whole strategy and change too much, because then you don't know what changes actually worked. It's like when I used to do sales, going door to door with pitching people. Instead of changing the whole sales pitch, just try to change one word or one small part, and you can have a totally different outcome. But if you're just constantly changing all these different parts of your pitch, you're never going to know what worked and what didn't work. So trading's the same way. You don't want to jump between strategies too much or change too much. You want to make small little tweaks and adjustments to your strategy. And so we switched from micros to minis like 2 weeks ago, and my win rate's been good and the strategy's been pretty decent. We've broken some rules and could have done better, but I didn't let my winners ride long enough because I think I was trading minis. So I think switching back to micros is going to help with that. You know, you just don't know until you try something. We would have a bunch of guys going door to door selling stuff, and they would say a pitch for a couple houses and get no results, and then change a lot of their pitch and then get a good result. And they would think that it was because they changed the pitch, but really they should have just stuck with the original pitch and made small adjustments, like, because then it didn't work anymore, that change they made. It just worked that one time. So then they got a false sense that, hey, that worked. You know, it's kind of tough. It's like the same thing. It's hard to explain unless you went door to door doing sales for a while. But trading's the same way. You don't want to make like huge changes to your strategy. You want to tweak, just do little tweaks, and then try it for a couple weeks, because you need time to really like log and journal if it's working or not. Right now, we're just chopping inside the range. So this is just chop, 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 chop. Like, this is not a trend of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, or lower low, lower high, lower low. This is chop. So this is what you don't want to trade. This is what you don't want to trade. And we got denied on the short, thinking we were putting in a lower low, lower high. And then we kind of got below this wick of this candle. So I jumped in for a short. And the other thing was I set my stop loss and I started raising it. You shouldn't ever do that. Set your stop loss, and then that's it. Your stop loss only moves in one direction, and that's trailing it into the green. You don't ever set a stop loss and then go the opposite way. The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent, meaning the market can continue going in the wrong direction longer than you can keep your account. So shouldn't have done that. You know, our entry wasn't bad. The idea of getting short here wasn't too bad. It just didn't work. Didn't play out. If we zoom out, we can look at, like, was there other levels of support there that we should have kept in mind at the bigger picture? I don't know. You know, not really. The next target down, you know, could have been all the way down here at the 252s. The market was still kind of looking bearish on the hourly chart. Like, the market's pushing down, right? So next level of support would have been down here at the 251s or 255 area. So, you know, this wasn't a bad idea to get short here. It just didn't work. And I'm not going to blame it on the market. We lost. We lost. So market's just real choppy right now. Doesn't mean it's going to be choppy all day. I could come back and look at the computer at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and then it started putting in a nice trend. And, you know, trust me, that stinks when you see that and you're like, man. But I don't work until 12 o'clock trading. I don't work until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I only go until 10 a.m. Texas time, and that's it. And 85, 90% of the time, our setups appear in those first 2 hours. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's no big deal. But it is what it is. Honestly, we should probably be done for the day. Should probably be done for the day. Once we get up to 15 and 20 micro contracts and get some good wins, that's when the big $1,000 kind of winning trades come in. But right now, with the account being a little bit below 50,000 and us not getting like consistent wins of good wins with 10 micros, there's no sense in scaling up to 15 or 20. If you're not doing well with 10, that doesn't mean going larger size is going to fix anything. That's just going to make your losses even bigger if you're not trading well. So we're going to still stick to 10 micros when we come back Thursday. So, you know, you just got to stay positive like Shredder should. Try to stay positive. Try to go for my runs and my exercise, eat well, meditate, and do all the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing to take care of my body. But this is choppy. You can't trade this. This is like, I think all the institutional guys, they're not even trading today. Like, New York's closed. This is all just retail traders, people like us sitting out. Well, actually, on a sim account, we're not affecting the market. You'd have to have a live account. So scratch that. But, you know, if the market's not hot, it doesn't mean blame the market on your losses. You should have just not taken a trade, maybe. You know? Like, we really didn't get that pullback to the 21 EMA. I'm going to sit here and analyze what I did wrong, because that's all you can do. Like, you can't, it's not the market's fault. It's still looking bearish, honestly, but it's choppy. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's not a regret thing. It's just more of like a, I get frustrated, like, man, again, a loss, not a regret. I mean, we showed up, we took a trade. It's not always going to work out, you know? I feel like I need to go run it out again, go for a run. Yeah, risk is too high right now. What do you mean risk is too high? It's a vague statement. I don't know what that means. To take a trade now? Yeah, I agree. Or do you mean by how many contracts I'm trading? It's 10 micro contracts for a $50,000 account. I don't know, Marcel, what you mean by that. We're not trading anymore and the market's just choppy. So I view trading in these conditions as risky. So I would agree with you if that's what you mean. And that, I mean, looking at the ES is doing the same thing. This is just chop. It doesn't get any more. That's the definition of chop, just sideways. Market's just moving sideways. Why didn't you capturing big moves, like capturing 40 to 50 points with small quantity? Because a lot of times you just need to capture like 20 points with a little bit more of quantity. The market's not always going to give you like a clean 50 points and you're going to time it that well. That's a little bit harder. If you go back on my channel, you'll see where I've caught 140 points. Literally the market just for the whole day just put in higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And I would just move my stop. As soon as this lower low was, or higher low was put in, I'd move my stop to here. And then as soon as this higher low was put in, I'd move my stop to here. And I just trailed it for like 2 hours. Too many contracts? No, dude. Those are micro contracts. Those aren't minis. It's 10 micro contracts. That's not too many for a $50,000 account. Here we go. Now I'm just going to get people saying stuff like that. This is going to make me want to log off and sign off because we're done for the day. If you want to make small amount of money, trade. No, it's not, dude. 1 to 2% of the portfolio is what you're supposed to risk. Oh, here we go. This is what Patrick has to deal with when he's got thousands of subscribers. $300 divided by 50,000 is less than 1%. And it's not, you don't see it as, yeah, you're going to hit me with the mentality of, it's not a $50,000 account. It's only $2,000 account because that's how much drawdown you have. That's not how it works. If you want to trade like that, you're going to take a whole month to hit the profit target. If they give you 5 days to hit the profit target, obviously it doesn't have to be in 5 days. It might take you 7, 8, 9, 10 days, but it's not designed for you to take a whole month to hit $3,000. And you also don't need to try to hit it in like 3 days. Yeah, you only have 2,000. Okay, there we go. See, I'm gonna have to start doing what Patrick does and put you in the VIP room. That's what he calls it. All right. Well, so what's your suggestion then, Marshall? Trade 1 micro contract and take 2 months to hit the $3,000 profit target. Is that your suggestion? I'm just curious as to what this kid thinks you're supposed to do. No, we're not doing that. That's funny. He said yes. Same as in your real account, dude. Yeah, the profit target with take profits 3,000 though. So it's not about what it should be. We don't set it what it should be. The prop firm sets it at what it should be and what it is. We don't. And I don't have a live funded account. You can't trade Nasdaq futures with only $2,000 in an account. Pretty sure you need at least like 15 or 20 grand. You only have a $2,000 account. These people are funny. That is not what that means. Listen, the only reason why we haven't hit our profit target isn't because of how many contracts I'm trading. It's because I didn't follow my plan and I broke rules. It has nothing to do with trading 10 micro contracts. If we go back and look at the journal, these small wins are not because I only traded 10 micro contracts or 1 or 2 minis. It's because I didn't let them play out. Simple as that. I broke rules. I didn't trade my plan. It had nothing to do with that I was trading too many contracts. I'm winning more than I'm losing in terms of win rate, but my risk to reward was low. It has nothing to do with, like, look at this day where we just over traded. All of these trades, journaling day by day. I have a Top Step account and my stop loss is around 100. Hold on. And I'm not saying what works for you doesn't work. There's different ways to do this. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I have a Top Step account and my stop loss is $100 and take profit at 500 to 1,000. That works for me. Yeah. So your stop loss. So for me, I don't use a set stop loss for every single trade because depending on how fast the market's moving, your stop loss may have to adjust and change. So if you have a wider stop loss in terms of points, you may scale down the amount of contracts you're trading so that the dollar amount is still around the same, versus if you have a tighter stop loss, you can put more contracts on, and that just depends on how fast the market's moving. It's almost like if you're driving down the highway and you're going 80 miles per hour, you want to have 8 car lengths in between you and the car in front of you, just in case if they stop, you don't rear end them. But if you're only going 30 miles per hour down the road, you can drive a little bit closer to that car in front of you. So when the market's moving really fast in one direction or the other, meaning it's going up really high fast or vice versa, you might need a larger stop loss for those pullbacks for your entries. So you may want to scale down and trade less contracts. But that changes from day to day and trade to trade. So it's not just, I know you have a set amount of $100, but I'm sure your points changes for each stop loss, right? Okay, of course. Sometimes I have 2 contracts, sometimes 10 micros, but I always try to have a very good profit loss. Right. Yeah, and I've just been struggling with letting my winners ride. And I don't think that has anything to do with my position size. It had to do with that I was trading minis and not micros and not scaling out and not letting it play out. I was just closing the trade out. As soon as I was a couple $100 in the green, closing it out. And you can't do that. So a lot of people do that in the beginning when they're new. I'm still new. I've only been trading Nasdaq since August. It's December the same year. But yeah, that just works for me. But yeah, maybe it does not work for you. But yeah, obviously what I've been doing is not fully working, or I'd be profitable by now, and I'm not. So everything I'm doing isn't working. but I'm on that journey. I'm learning. I'm getting a little bit better. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a professional trader. I haven't even taken any payouts yet. You guys are watching somebody that still hasn't even earned a payout yet. Yeah, London session. I'm only trading New York session for the first like 2 hours. So when there's a lot of momentum. Right now, today's slow. It's New Year's Eve. There's no momentum in the market right now. It's chopping sideways. So, you know, you can't really trade this strategy when there's no momentum. So we're definitely only got 12 minutes left in the stream. I'm going to shut it down in 12 minutes. I don't think any moves are coming, so we took one loss. Funded since 1 year, 10 payouts. Good job, man. Congratulations. So you have more experience and more payouts. Do you only trade Nasdaq futures or do you trade other instruments? I don't trade Nasdaq. I tried to trade gold before, and then I would look at forex, all the different currency pairs, had all this different screens pulled up and charts, support levels, resistance levels, supply and demand, and it was just too much. I knew I had to narrow my focus and just focus on one instrument, and I picked Nasdaq in August. My first time I got funded was September, and I've gone through 4 $50,000 accounts now, about one a month since September. So we're just in that learning process. We're in the beginning. The book Trading in the Zone changed everything. What did it change? It changed everything. I see it on Amazon. It's a $35 hardcover book. Well, yeah, it is a mind game. You're right. Life is a mind game. I can talk about that for hours. I mean, we don't have that much time here, but life is not a physical reality game. It's a mental and spiritual game. The best loser wins. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Well, it took me over 5 years to get funded. Wow. So the reason why I got funded so easily with Apex, well, I got funded multiple times with Apex, but the first time was 3 nice winning 3 green days in a row, hit the $3,000 profit target, was trading 20 micros, and I was just in the zone, I think, for those 3 days. I had my son with me, and I feel like I was just really focused and felt good, seeing him laugh and playing with toys. He was a baby, and just mentally I felt really good. And but then I kind of learned a trick with Apex. You only need 1 day to pass. So I was like, all right, if it's just 1 day to pass, I just have to catch one good trade with 15 points and trade like 10 mini contracts, and I'll hit $3,000. And that's what I did. Then I figured out how to just pass Apex accounts like easy. The problem with that is that doesn't really create like a consistent, disciplined trader. Because even if you scale back down to 1 to 2 contracts, with the funded account, like you passed in one day, versus take profit traders a little bit differently. They force you to trade for 5 days, but then once you get your funded account, once you get it over the $2,000 buffer, you can take payouts right away. There's no minimum amount of days. So I feel like take profit traders harder to get funded, but you kind of want it to be harder because you want to be consistent and disciplined. You don't want it to be easy. So what they'll do is Apex will give you a funded account easy and then take your $130 just for you to blow up the account, and then they made money. I don't know if they really lose money because of the buffer and the trailing drawdown. So yeah. Whereas with take profit, I feel like if you can just create that mental switch that, hey, this is still just the evaluation, just do the same thing you were doing on the evaluation and stick to your plan, your feelings and emotions go away. You almost want to like detach yourself as the trader. Like the trader almost needs to go away and the plan is what needs to take over, because your feelings and your thoughts can change at the speed of light. They're real wishy-washy. So if you have a good plan, the plan becomes the trader, and you become like a robot with no emotions or feelings. You let the plan play itself, do itself. All right, brother. Good luck. God bless. Have a good New Year. And I appreciate you showing some support and stopping by. Honestly, for me, it comes down to the trader. For me, honestly, I think take profit trader is right now the better deal for somebody like me, and even my mentor that just got a $500,000+ payout with Apex because he had 11 accounts with over like $50,000 in profit, and after 3 months of making withdrawals, you can request all the profit in the account. Even he just posted a video on Friday that he just bought $550,000 take profit trader accounts, and he's got like 8 years experience. But take profit trader right now is the least expensive to $50,000 funding out of all of the prop firms, and they're a good company with good rules. They have a 50% consistency rule. You just need to trade for 5 days to pass the $3,000 profit target. And then when you get your funded account, you just have to have over $2,000 in the buffer, and then you can get payouts right away each day. There's no pay periods or pay windows. They pay their people. They have a good reputation, and they're the least expensive. You can't trade 20 accounts with them. You can only trade 5. But hey, I need to get good at just trading one account. So then we can get a second one, a third one, have up to 5. And then if I need more accounts or something, we can consider a different prop firm. But for now, for my needs, take profit trader is a better pick over Apex. It's less expensive, and I know I can pass an Apex account in one day. Right now they're like $16. They're 90% off. I could go buy one today and on Thursday, get long or get short on a good setup, hit 15 points with 10 contracts, 10 minis, hit $3,000 like that, and get funded, and then give them another $80 or $100 or whatever it is to pay the activation code for the funded account. And then you have to trade for like 8 or 10 days or whatever to then be eligible for a payout. So it costs you more, and it doesn't really create like good discipline or consistency because of how easy it is to pass when you only have to trade for one day to pass. Because you can just go like all in and they'll let you trade 10 contracts, versus take profit trader limits you to 6 contracts. And honestly, 6 minis. You shouldn't be trading 6 minis anyway on a $50,000 account. You shouldn't be trading more than 2 to 3 per trade, in my opinion. So take profit trader, in my opinion, is what I like better, and I think is better for somebody that's a beginner trader or even some people with experience with the current deals that they're offering. You got to watch the deals change between all of the different companies too. They're always having different promotions and different sales. But right now, the promotion that they have, which ends this week, I think creates the best deal out there, out of all the companies between Top Step, Take Profit Trader, Apex. You got My Funded Futures. There's a lot of different companies out there, but you want to pick a company that's reputable, that's paying their people out, that's been in business for a little bit, because there's been companies that didn't pay people out, obviously. Almost kind of reminds me of the solar industry, which is kind of scary, but the goal is to save up a bunch of your own money so that you can just trade with your own live $50,000. But until you've become a disciplined, consistent trader, you don't want to trade with your own $50,000, because what happens if you go on tilt or you start making a bunch of bad decisions? You could just blow through all of your own money. Apex is a good company, though. They're still one of the top companies. But it's always good to look at your other options and just consider your options and figure out what's going to be best for you. But I used Apex since like April, trading evals, funded accounts. I was trading gold, then I switched to Nasdaq, and I literally only started with Take Profit Trader December 16th this month. So we're still on the same account. Right now the account's down. We're down about $750. It is what it is. Took some good trades, took some bad trades, broke some rules. That's what happens. It wasn't the market's fault. It was my fault. So we're still just chopping here. We're definitely not taking any more trades for the day. Like, I'm 100% sure of that. I'm done in 1 minute. The market's still inside the 15-minute range. We got below it, but then pulled back and didn't get that continuation here on the 1 minute chart on this short. It is what it is. It's New Year's Eve. Can't expect the market to be too hot, I guess, on New Year's Eve. Just going sideways. So, but I appreciate everybody who showed up today to watch the stream. Hope you learned something. The good thing is, whether I make money or lose money, if you're watching, you're learning something. Even when we win, we can still analyze what we did and try to be better. There's still areas where you can see what you did wrong, even in winning trades. So we're just always learning. That's one of the reasons why I'm on here, is so that other people can learn and I can document my process. And it's not to make money off of YouTube. That was never my intention. So yeah, Take Profit Traders, just, I'm not like some like really big experienced trader that's gotten a lot of payouts, but I have been trading with Apex and Take Profit Trader now. And with the current deal, that's the company I would suggest. So, because if you can get funded with them and then just continue doing what you were doing to get funded, like in terms of how you were trading, you will get payouts. Versus with Apex, you might be able to pass the eval, but then are you going to get payouts? And it's not because it's Apex, but it's because of like how they allowed you to get funded. It was a little bit too easy. You don't want it to be too easy, because that's not going to create a good disciplined trading, a good trader. So, yeah, Take Profit Trader, good company. But there it is. We will see you live January 1st, 2025, going into the new year. Thursday morning, we'll be live 8:15 Texas time. I appreciate y'all coming in, putting your questions or comments in the chat, talking. This is good. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day and a good Happy New Year. And I will see y'all next time. All right. Peace out, guys. Later.